Hello, everyone. My name is Ashlee Haze, and I'm so excited to have the opportunity to talk with author Joan Lyric Leslie. And today we're talking a little bit about her forthcoming work, Love and All That Sits in Its Place. Lyric, I am so happy to be here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be a part of this. And I had the pleasure, the luxury of writing the foreword to this book. And it was so dope to sit with your work and to sit with your words. So talk to me a little bit about just this cover, which is dope. It's fly.
So the cover art is actually done by the same person who did the cover art for my first book, My Blackness Rhymes with Joy. Shout out to Shayla, my middle school basketball teammate.
Hey.
We'll tag her in some posts afterwards, but she's super dope. I explained to her what the vision was for the project, and as she did with book number 1, she gave me a few sketches, and I was like, we want to create something that people don't have to guess about. They'll look at this cover and have a pretty good sense about what they're going to experience when reading.
And what you're going to experience is love and a little bit of all that sits in its place. So this is a work about matters of the heart, about grief. Did you have any poems that were like your favorite to write? Did you have like a favorite poem to write?
Yes, I would say one of the shorter poems in there is called How. And it was my favorite to write hands down because it gave me a chance to just be free and love on myself out loud.
Yeah.
You know, it's a poem that I want people to read out loud to themselves and then find some other affirmation that works for them. I'm talking about how, I glorify Spanx because that's what makes me feel like I'm at my best. But you may have something else that makes you feel at your best. So I hope it inspires people to affirm themselves because that's a major part of love.
Yeah, absolutely. It's affirming yourself constantly. And conversely, did you have any poems that were maybe difficult to work through?
Yeah, definitely a few of those. I would say one that stands out to me right now is Church. So Church is a poem I wrote when I was in a season of healing and forgiving, but also holding myself accountable for the role I've played in allowing things to last longer than they needed to last. It was my apology. It was my apology to God because the way I view God is as this being, this figure that I can go to and lay my burdens down, lay my everything that I'm working on for myself. I bring that to the proverbial altar. I've allowed myself to be that for other people, but that's never been my job. And it was me apologizing to the God I serve, but it was also me holding myself accountable so that I know better for next time.
Yeah, and that's what we hope to do is to grow through our experiences and
grow through those. Because we're gonna go through them. Yeah, we ain't got no choice but to go, but growing through.
But growing is the key, and that is a choice you make. So I can very much see that your work is always for Black women first. Of course, you're a Black woman, it's by us, for us. But what can Black men or other folks get by coming to your work?
So Black men can always get something from my work because I love Black men. If I'm writing about love, and it's a love poem, it is sappy. Some Black man was the inspiration. If I'm writing about basketball or a Spike Lee character, for example, I may be referencing a Black man because that is a part of my story. Whenever I'm talking about love, if it's familial love, if it's love with platonic love, with friends, and romantic love, I'm only ever thinking about Black men. So I want them to feel loved. I want them to feel seen, but I want them to feel accountable. As well.
Yeah, and I think they can come to the poems and learn how women want to be loved.
That part. Right.
Yes. And so you brought up Spike Lee, which is a good point, because you bring up some Spike Lee characters throughout the book, like Nola had some work in there. So what inspired you to choose these characters and what draws you to Spike Lee's work?
So I think just as a lover of art, a lover of film, and a Black woman who gets to see herself on screen when he puts his work out into the universe, I've always loved Spike. And I love that he does not care what Hollywood thinks about his representation of the Black body. for She's Gotta Have It to be his first major production, for it to be black and white, shot in Brooklyn. You know, I didn't see it until I was an adult and I was old enough to really understand what was happening. But I love that she decided what freedom looked like. She decided what love could look like. And we saw how this woman was judged by even other women for doing what men have gotten away with or been, you know, praised for generations at this point, I would say, at least when it comes to our community.
For sure.
So I love Nola as a character. I also highlight Lee Gilliam. So Mo Better Blues is one of my favorite movies. Anything that Denzel and Spike Lee came together on.
I mean, what could be more perfect?
Right. Name a more iconic duo.
Name a more iconic duo.
So, yeah, I want to pay homage to Uncle Spike. Another black man who I've been calling Uncle Spike for as long as I can remember, because he put my city on the map for a different, you know, a different audience. And it was me. I was the audience. My family was the audience. And I want to bring his characters to my audience. People who love poetry should love Spike Lee, in my opinion, because his work is poetic. He highlights artists that we all know and love. What Spike Lee movie from the 90s didn't have a Stevie Wonder track on the playlist? Like, come on. Like, I don't even want to see Jungle Fever all the time, but you know what I do want to hear?
What I do want, exactly.
I want to hear Spike Lee with, you know, beautiful black bodies just walking down the streets of Harlem.
Exactly. So yeah, I definitely saw that in your work. And so, Joan, let's say I want to cuddle up with a cup of tea. I want to dim the lights and light a candle and bring out love and all that sits in its place. What am I putting on the playlist?
You gotta start with a little Tiana Taylor, because Harlem, always. Little Isley Brothers, because I'm an old soul. You know, we've been riding down, you know, down 95 or whatever that highway was.
Lakeshore Drive,
And I love old school, so definitely Isley Brothers. I would say Jay.
Love
me some Hov. Pop Smoke. He did so much before he left us. And Erykah Badu and Jill.
Absolutely.
I pulled directly from that Versus playlist.
Listen, it was so good. It was so good. So I, for one, am so excited to get my copy that I got on your website. I have had the opportunity to sit with the words, but I'm excited to sit with them again and to see what else I learned from and what else I can grow through reading this book. So I hope you all get your copy of Love and All That Sits in Its Place. It is everywhere, October 23rd. Lyric, where can they find the book?
So first, you can find the book on harlemsownlyric.com, and it is available with my first book, My Blackness Rhymes with Joy.
Yes. So make sure you get the book, Forward by Ashlee Haze. Make sure you cuddle up, listen to your Isley Brothers. Thank you so much, Lyric, and I'm looking forward to it.